I am a radiant embodiment of health, my body, mind, and soul vibrant with vitality and balance. With every breath, I draw in life-giving energy that nourishes every cell, strengthens my spirit, and fills me with boundless well-being. I am in harmony with my body, embracing its strength, resilience, and innate wisdom with gratitude and love. My inner world is a sanctuary of wellness, where thoughts of vitality and balance flourish like a thriving garden. I release all stress, worry, and negativity, allowing a gentle wave of healing energy to flow through me, restoring my body and uplifting my soul. I am strong, vibrant, and fully alive, my heart beating in rhythm with the pulse of life. I choose to live in alignment with health, letting it guide my choices, actions, and thoughts with intention and care. My body is a temple of wellness, and I honor it with nourishing foods, mindful movement, and restful peace. I'm a vessel of vitality, filled with an infinite wellspring of energy that I draw upon to thrive and inspire others. I am worthy of health, and I embrace myself fully, celebrating my body's strength and my mind's clarity. Every step I take is grounded in a certainty that I am cared for by the universe, and my presence radiates wellness. I forgive myself for past neglect, wrapping my being in compassion and allowing health to renew every part of me. Vitality flows through me like a clear, sparkling river, energizing my body and calming my mind. I trust in my body's natural ability to heal, knowing that it is always working toward balance and strength. My thoughts are clear, my emotions are balanced, and I move through life with a quiet resilience that inspires those around me. I am a beacon of health, my presence a gentle reminder that wellness is within reach. I breathe in vitality and exhale all that no longer serves my well-being, creating space for healing and energy to flourish. My life is a reflection of the health I cultivate within, and I nurture it with every decision I make. I share health with others, spreading positivity and encouragement through my actions and words. My vitality creates ripples of inspiration, uplifting those around me and fostering connection. I celebrate the well-being of others, knowing that their health amplifies my own. I act with kindness, speak with encouragement, and live with purpose, understanding that every interaction is an opportunity to promote wellness. I let go of judgment, embracing my unique journey and trusting that my path to health is unfolding perfectly. My energy is a gift, freely shared, and it returns to me multiplied, enriching my life and the lives of those I touch. I am connected to the universe, a vital thread in the tapestry of existence, woven with health and vitality. I contribute to the world's well-being by living with intention and care, knowing that my efforts create a positive impact. My energy aligns with the universal flow of healing, and I trust that health is my birthright. I envision a life where vitality thrives, where every heart and body is filled with the energy of wellness, and I am committed to making that vision a reality through my actions. I am a co-creator of a world filled with balance, where health is cherished and energy is abundant. Each morning, I awaken with a heart full of gratitude, ready to embrace the day with strength and clarity. I carry health in my every step, knowing that it is a choice I make in every moment. I am gentle with myself, honoring my body's needs and learning from every experience with grace. I am a source of vitality, not only for myself, but for all those around me, and I share it generously, knowing that health is limitless. My presence is a light in the world, shining brightly to guide others toward wellness. I am grateful for the energy that flows through me, connecting me to the beauty of life, and I trust in its power to heal and transform. My life is a journey of health, and I walk it with confidence, knowing that I am supported by the universe. I am surrounded by the energy of vitality, guided by the wisdom of balance, and connected to the infinite possibilities of well-being. I choose to see the world through the lens of health, finding joy in the strength of my body and the clarity of my mind. My heart is a wellspring of energy that never runs dry, and I draw from it to fuel my life and inspire others. I am at peace with my journey, knowing that health and vitality are the threads that weave my life into a masterpiece. I am one with the universe, my soul resonating with the frequency of wellness and energy. I trust in the power of health to restore, to strengthen, and to bring light to every aspect of my being. My body is a sanctuary where vitality and balance intertwine, creating a space of infinite potential. I am a vessel for universal health, sharing it with every breath, every action, and every aspiration. He touched his forehead to hers. I'm not sorry. She shook her head. Neither am I. But beneath the haze of heat and want and soft breath shared in the dark, they both knew what had just happened wasn't simple. It wasn't clean. It was a crack splitting something open, and nothing on the other side would be the same. The world hadn't ended. Natalie woke the next morning with the taste of Ethan still lingering faintly on her lips, like something half remembered from a dream, warm, magnetic, too vivid to be imagined. She lay in bed far too long, staring at the ceiling, trying to make sense of the night, of the kiss, of the way her body had curled instinctively into his, like it had known all along where it belonged. But now daylight crept through the blinds, and the weight of it all settled on her chest. The past, her brother, Amber, the fact that everything had changed in the space of a single kiss. And worse, she wanted more. By the time she pulled on a hoodie and slid out the front door, the sun was already high, burning off the early morning chill. She wasn't surprised to find Ethan sitting on the bed of his truck in the driveway, nursing a bottle of water, staring at nothing in particular. She hesitated, then walked toward him. He looked up, and whatever she'd expected, guilt, hesitation, avoidance, wasn't there. Just quiet calm and something softer. "Morning," he said, voice still rough with sleep. She climbed up beside him, heart a knot. "I wasn't sure if you'd be here," she said, her voice low. "I wasn't sure you'd want me to be." They sat in silence, the kind that stretched comfortably when words weren't ready. Around them, the world buzzed back to life. Birds calling from wires, an occasional car rolling past. But inside the cocoon of their silence, time held still. "I didn't sleep," she admitted. Ethan didn't look at her. Me either. She turned slightly, watched the way the sun caught in the brown of his eyes, how his jaw tensed like he was holding something back. "What are we doing?" she asked finally. His hand flexed against his thigh, a slow breath leaving his lungs. "I don't know," he said honestly. "But I know it wasn't just a kiss." Her chest tightened. "I know," she whispered. "But I also know who you are, and who I am, and who we've been to each other." "That doesn't have to mean we don't get to be something else," he said, looking at her now, the full weight of his gaze pinning her to the spot. She shook her head, her voice trembling. He'd hate us. I know. Her eyes welled. He trusted you. I never broke that, Ethan said, voice firm. But I'm not going to lie to myself anymore either. Natalie looked away, her throat too tight for words. Then she felt it, his fingers brushing hers, not grabbing, just resting there, lightly, like a promise he hadn't figured out how to say yet. You didn't do anything wrong, he said softly, and neither did I. And yet it still felt like a storm was coming. 2 days passed. They didn't see each other again until the weekend cookout. A family thing, casual, sprawling, all folding chairs and paper plates, and the smell of smoke curling up into a blue sky. Natalie had tried to bury it, the kiss, the want, the ache. She told herself it was just a moment, just confusion, just old feelings stirred up by old pain. But then she saw him, leaning against the side of the garage in a dark button-up that clung just right, beer in hand, laughing at something someone said, and her pulse started humming again. She hadn't hallucinated that kiss. Her body remembered it too well, and so, apparently, did his, because when their eyes met across the lawn, something in his expression shifted. Just a flicker, but enough. Enough to catch her breath in her throat. Enough to undo her resolve. He waited until she stepped inside to grab another drink. Waited 2 minutes, then followed. The house was empty, quiet. The clatter of voices and music outside made it feel almost private. She was in the kitchen when he appeared in the doorway, watching her like a man already halfway undone. I wasn't going to say anything, he said. I told myself I wouldn't. But then I saw you and... He exhaled, stepped forward. I can't stop thinking about you. Her hands trembled around the cold can she'd just pulled from the fridge. Ethan, I don't care how complicated this is, he said, crossing the room. I don't care if it makes me the villain. I'm done pretending that I don't want you. His voice cracked on the last word. She turned slowly, heart slamming against her ribs, and he was there, inches away. I feel like I'm standing in the middle of a line I can't uncross, she whispered, and I don't know how to make it right. Maybe it's not about right, he murmured. Maybe it's just real. And then his hand slid along her jaw, gentle and trembling, and the second she leaned into his palm, he kissed her. Harder this time, hungrier. No space, no hesitation. She dropped the can, didn't hear it hit the floor, just felt the heat of his mouth, the press of his chest, the way his hands gripped her hips, like he couldn't stand the idea of letting go. She kissed him back with a kind of desperation she didn't know she was capable of. Months, years maybe, of tension unwinding all at once. His lips moved over hers, slow at first, then deeper, fuller, until her knees went weak and she found herself pinned gently between him and the counter. Her hands tangled in his shirt, clutching. His fingers slid up her back, splayed, wide, holding her close, grounding her. He broke the kiss, only to breathe her name. Natalie. And when she looked up, eyes dazed, lips swollen, she saw it written all over his face, the wanting, the fear, the ache of knowing this couldn't stay hidden much longer. She didn't say a word, she just kissed him again. They didn't speak, not when his arms wrapped around her tighter, like letting go would break something. Not when she slid her hands under the hem of his shirt, fingertips grazing hot skin, feeling the tremble in his stomach as he exhaled. And not when he leaned his forehead against hers and closed his eyes, like the feel of her breath was the only thing holding him together. There was nothing left to say, not in that moment. Words would only clutter the truth. They'd crossed it, that invisible line, and there was no going back. The house buzzed with distant voices, laughter spilling in from the porch. But in the kitchen, time slowed, thick with everything unsaid, every glance, every brush of skin, every breathless moment they hadn't let themselves reach for until now. Ethan pulled back just enough to look at her, fingers still resting lightly at her waist. His eyes were darker now, but not with lust alone. With something deeper, heavier, he was seeing her. Not just the girl from years of backyard parties and long summer nights, not just his best friend's little sister, her. "I don't want this to be something we hide," he said, voice hoarse. She swallowed hard, heart pounding in her throat. "Then what is it?" His thumb traced the edge of her cheekbone, almost reverent. "It's something I've wanted for a long time, something I didn't think I could have." She couldn't look away, couldn't breathe. "Why now?" "Because if I don't tell you how I feel, I'm going to lose my mind." His honesty shook her, cut clean through the fear and straight into the softest part of her. She'd built walls around the guilt, the what-ifs, the memory of what Amber meant to her brother. But Ethan was unraveling them, brick by brick, just by being real. "I keep thinking this'll pass," she whispered, "that I'll wake up and this feeling will go away. Has it?" "No," she breathed. "It's worse." He gave a crooked smile, one hand lifting to tuck her hair behind her ear. "Then let's stop pretending." That night, the party wound down with clinks of empty bottles and slow music drifting through car speakers. The fire pit burned low, its glow softening the faces that lingered in lawn chairs. Voices hushed with the slow drag of the night. Natalie stood barefoot in the grass, arms crossed, gaze distant. She hadn't seen Amber since earlier, and maybe that was for the best. She didn't have the strength to wear her usual mask. The stars above seemed too bright, too still, like they knew something was about to break. Ethan found her there, just out of the glow of the fire, where the shadows curled around them. He didn't say anything at first, just slid his hand into hers, fingers threading through like it had always been meant to fit that way. She looked down at their joined hands, then up at him. "I'm scared," she said softly. He nodded once. "Me too." And then she stepped into him, wrapped her arms around his waist, pressed her face into his chest like maybe, if she held him tight enough, the world would slow down. He held her just as tightly, burying his face in her hair, breathing her in like he didn't care who might see. That was the first time they didn't kiss with urgency, didn't grope in the shadows like they had to steal the moment. That night, Ethan bent his head and kissed her forehead first, slow, aching, tender, then her temple, her cheek, her jaw. By the time their mouths met, it wasn't fire, it was something softer, more dangerous. Wanting her had been easy. This, feeling for her, that was where the ground shifted. She melted into the kiss, arms looped around his neck, his lips moving over hers with the kind of patience that drove her mad. Each touch felt deliberate, not because he was holding back, but because he wanted her to remember, to feel. And she did. Every stroke of his thumb along her spine, every brush of his mouth on hers, every slow exhale against her skin. She felt him in her bones. When they pulled apart, breathless, the quiet between them felt louder than the music behind them. "I need to see you," he murmured. "You are seeing me." He shook his head. Number